Or,
You know, it works a lot better with two mics, so
Does
I'm
it?
gonna just I'm gonna let you.
All right, the mic is rolling across the room.
This is a wonderful place we're in here. It's a huge room, ladies and gentlemen. The walls are landlord green and unadorned with anything except Ted's face. I'm going to do this because I just love the diversity of influences. You know? We sit around and we make up labels for what a song is so often, and I just have never liked that when it's just music. Tonight you're mine. So sweetly tonight, the light of love is in your eye. But will you still love me tomorrow? Is this a lasting treasure? Or just a moment's pleasure? Can I believe the magic in your kiss? Will you still love me tomorrow? Tonight with words unspoken, tell me that I am the only one. Will my heart be broken when the night meets the morning sun? I'd like to know that your love is a love, is a love, is a love, is a love that I can't be sure of. So tell me now, I won't ask again. Are you gonna love me tomorrow? Tell me now, and I will not ask again. Are you gonna love me? Are you gonna love me tomorrow?
Oh, that's a cover.
That's a cover.
Man. That was sweet.
That's gonna stay covered.
Do that again.
Oh,
No, that was sweet. What attracted you to that song, which you improved upon so dramatically?
Michael Velasquez, Taco. He's a drummer in town, and he and I have been. He's been working with me lately, and we've been talking about, well, let's push the blues envelope a little bit. Number one, and which we've kind of always done. But he said, let's find some really strange material to do. We haven't worked that up as an ensemble arrangement yet, but I was looking around and thinking, where can I go to find some material that just hasn't been covered acoustically? And James Taylor has covered Carole King, but virtually no one else has. And I thought, gee, what a great old song this is, but since I don't have the Phil Spector Wall of Sound 9 tambourine players and stuff, what can I do with it? That's how it came out.
That was just really, really, that was brilliant, Lonnie. That was great. What album was that off? Was that off of Tapestry, or what was that?
Probably.
You do a whole album. You do like
who
Liz
did it?
Phair did with Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street, a song-by-song response to Carole King's Tapestry.
I've never heard her do it, I don't think. I've heard Tapestry, you know, a million years ago, but was it the Ronettes or the Shirelles or the, who did it originally?
Shirelles.
Was it the Shirelles? Yeah.
I'm almost positive it was the Shirelles. A real, you know, real girl group version of the tune, and then she did it on Tapestry. And then James Taylor did that nice harmony on it where he answered her, when the night.
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask you about Coffee House.
Oh, okay. What do you want to ask me?
What do we want to know, Paul?
Tell us about the coffee house.
Yeah, well, I've partnered up with a couple of people in the Elliott Park neighborhood, Cher Cannon and Diane Ingram, and we've thrown our various skills or lack thereof together and decided to open a coffee house. We've paid the lease, we have the insurance, we're busy scraping the floors, and we're hoping for a June opening date.
It's going to open where?
At 609 South 10th Street in the Elliott Park neighborhood of downtown
Oh,
Minneapolis.
that's awesome.
Feature used books and fine espresso beverages and live acoustic music and a lot of other local artists and gift sort of things, and then live acoustic music at least 3 nights a week. We're still banging out the final details.
That's great. So you got a lot of things going on in your life. You're
And
a
it's
busy
called
person.
the EP Atelier, which is
I'm
French
sorry?
for paparazzi. No, the Elliott Park Atelier.
You got other projects going on too, don't you? Do you have your own recording studio? Is that right?
I have a little project studio, and basically I set that up years ago to have a canvas to work from for my own stuff, and then got into doing a lot of vanity projects, you know, kind of self-contained small releases. I did a lot of songwriter demos for people. Right now I'm not doing a lot of that. I'm doing a lot of website design.
Website design for who, for instance?
Oh gosh, Twin Cities Musicians Union,
Oh,
a variety of alcohol recovery facilities, a bank in St. Peter, a real estate company in Missouri. The list goes on. There's a lot.
Where do we want to head next in terms of our musical selections here?
We ate the list.
While you two are deciphering what, when, and where you want to go with this, I want to let you know a little bit about what's going on. You know, the zoo, you wouldn't think the zoo would be a place a person would go in search of a musical venue, but in fact, every summer the zoo has a number of headliners, and this summer it looks like a lot of women are coming to town, including Etta James, Roseanne Cash, your favorite Paul Joan Jett, and Mary Chapin Carpenter will all be appearing at the zoo. Cool. Last year we saw Greg Brown there, you and I, and that was a really good show.
Greg Brown
A really good show.
with his daughter and Bo Ramsey.
Pieta?
Lonnie, I think you played at the zoo last summer.
I did, yes, with Renee Austin.
Awesome.
Yeah, we opened for Tower of Power.
That's kind of a nice venue. I mean, the sound
It is,
it's
yeah.
halfway decent there, and you get a really nice view of the pond and behind you, and it's just really a nice place. It probably cost you more than $7 or $4 or $2.
Don't
Hey,
get me
Pa.
going on those ticket prices again.
Yes.
All right, so
Someday all music will be free.
I think we should have a free concert in the Monkey House that day, just in protest.
I've given you two a couple of minutes here to come up with some.
And we've come up with nothing. Let's play Havana Moon, track number 17.
I like that.
This is from one of the 2 albums that Jeff and Maria Moldauer put out as they were transiting between Jim Kweskin's Jug Band and their own solo careers. Maria's, which skyrocketed, and Jeff's, which didn't really. But Jeff went on to play with Paul Butterfield in Better Days and a lot of stuff. But this is, I've been lately referring to Chuck Berry as the greatest living American folk poet, and this is an example of that. It's Jeff Moldauer doing Chuck Berry's Havana Moon.
Let's listen.
Havana moon, Havana moon. Me all alone with jug of rum. Me stand and wait for boat to come. As long the night is quiet, the dark, the boat she late. since 12 o'clock. He watched the tide easing in his lowly moon, but high the wind, Havana moon, Havana moon. They're all alone, they open their rum, his long time waiting for the boat to come. American girl, come back to me, we'll sail away across the sea. We'll dock in New York, the building's high. We'll find a home up on in the sky. Havana moon, Havana moon. We're still alone, we're sipping on the rum. We wonder when the boat she come to bring my love. Oh, sweet little thing, she rock and roll, she dance and sing, she hold me tight, she touch my lips, my eyes close, my heart flips. Havana moon, Havana moon. But still alone, me drinking the rum, begin to think the boat won't come. American girl, she'd tell me a lie, she'd say till then, she mean goodbye. Havana moon, Havana moon. They lay down alone, was good their rum. They fall asleep, the boat she come, the girl she look, till come the dawn. She weep and cry and she return for home. The whistle blow, me open me eyes, the bright sun, the blue skies. They grab me shoes, me jump and run, me see the boat head for horizon. Havana moon is gone there rum, the boat she sail, yes, me love she gone. Havana moon, Havana moon, Havana moon, yeah, Havana moon, Havana moon, yeah, Havana moon, Havana
feeling just right. Throw me smack dab in the middle. I wanna be smack dab in the middle, yeah. Smack dab in the middle, boy, so I can rock and roll to satisfy my soul. 10 Cadillacs, a diamond mill, 10 suits of clothes, and dressed to kill. A 10-room house, some barbecue, and 50 chicks not over 22. And throw me smack dab in the middle. I wanna be smack dab in the middle. Pitch me smack dab in the middle, so I can rock and roll and satisfy my soul. 100 bands with chorus girls, a street that's paved with natural pearls, a wagon low, a bounce of stars. Open up the door before it knocks and throw me smack dab in the middle. I wanna be smack dab in the middle, yeah. Smack dab in the middle, so I can rock and roll and satisfy my soul. A lot of bread and gains of meat, oodles of butter and something sweet, gallons of coffee to wash it down, bicarbonated soda by the pound, and throw me smack dab in the middle. I wanna be smack dab in the middle, smack dab in the middle, so I can rock and roll to satisfy my soul. Smack dab in the middle, yeah. Smack dab in the middle, smack dab in the middle, so I can rock and roll, satisfy my soul, my soul.
Talk to me, Lonnie. Tell me about those 3 songs that we just heard.
Okay, that was Amos Garrett with Doug Somm, who used to be with the Sir Douglas Quintet on the last one. And the first was Havana Moon from the Sweet Potatoes album by Jeff and Maria Moldauer that came out in 1972 with Amos Garrett on guitar. And then during that one, we were talking about Garrett playing on Midnight at the Oasis, which we did not play. We played Georgia on My Mind with Maria Moldauer with Amos Garrett on guitar from the Pottery Pie album, and we right from that into Smack Dab in the Middle, which is the Formerly Brothers. And we did that simply because I like Garrett's guitar playing.
That was some really nice guitar playing all the way through. Can I read you a quick PSA? Does anyone mind if I...
Go right ahead.
This one's from Outfront, Minnesota. Outfront, Minnesota works to eliminate heterosexism and homophobia in Minnesota. It will be accomplished by working for strong civil rights, safe community, workplaces and schools, stable families, and by encouraging self-reliant gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender individuals. For help or information, call 612-822-0127 or visit their website at www.outfront.org. So,
Boy, the last time we had a family in a stable, it sort of completely changed the whole spiritual thought of the world, didn't it?
the last time we had a family in a stable. You're losing me now.
Talking about stable families.
Stable families. Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah. Boom. So, tell me a little bit, Lonnie, because we have a half hour left and I have so many questions for you. I want to make sure I get them all in. One of the questions I have for you is about the songwriting process. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you approach songs when you're writing?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Next question has to do with...
Honestly, I wish I could, but for me, I've known people that have it down to a science, that are professional songwriters, and I don't say that with any demeaning thing. They simply know how to craft a song, and they can sit down and write for a day. If they say, I'm going to write today, they write. And they'll come up with a few things, and some of them will be really good. I've never been able to capture that, and that's why I said no, because I don't know. Something will happen, something will strike me, and occasionally I come up with a song. But there's no science to it for me at all.
So it doesn't necessarily start with a theme, like an idea.
It will on occasion, but it's there's a chunk of inspiration, you know. It's oh, you got your peanut butter on my chocolate. Oh, you got your chocolate on, you know, the old commercial for Reese's peanut butter cups. Is how it happens for me. It has to start with that accidental spark. I don't know where that comes from. And then there's some processes that come into play. But I can't simply sit down and do it. I never have been able to.
And where does the melody factor into this thing? Do you sometimes start with a melody?
A lot of times, more often than not. I might get a few words, like a hook line for a song, or something that I've been thinking about will inspire a little crafty turn of phrase. That will immediately go to a melody, and then it seems the melody will evolve out of that, and the rest of the lyrics will get plugged in, if we're lucky.
Bob Dylan actually was talking in some forum. I can't remember what. I was reading it in the newspaper. He was talking about his own songwriting process, and apparently he had never done that before. And it made about as much sense as what you're just describing right there. Yeah, I would say.
Well, when he talked to Jimmy Thudpucker from inside the house, and Thudpucker was sitting out on the porch, he just simply yelled out to him after Thudpucker gave him this amazing explanation of one of the deeper tunes. He said, "No, man, I just wanted it to rhyme." So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking
Blueberry Bill once asked Fred Arger what comes first, the lyrics or the words. Fred answered him.
Right answer. Paul, did you cue us up something?
Yeah, speaking of songwriters, this is from a record that came out on vinyl, still on vinyl, in its original vinyl form, 1977 Mountain Railroad Records by Dick Penny. Lonnie's on here. I don't know if he's on this track or not, but it's written by a guy who went on to more acclaim than he had at that point, Greg Brown. And I think it's a really good song. I like this a lot. Hackle Barney, it's called. Are you on this track?
I can't remember if I'm on this one, but it's track 1, Ted, if you're interested. And
Before we leave this whole songwriting piece, because I'm not ready, you know.
okay.
Maybe you could talk. I had a question here. Are there periods in your life where you're just feeling more inspired? Do you take 6 months off from the songwriting thing, or is it more of a consistent kind of venture for you?
Years off from
Yeah.
songwriting. I like a lot of writers. I write from pain. You know, I write from discomfort. When I'm really happy, when things are just slamming together the way they're supposed to, I have no need to write. There's no catharsis. There's nothing to write about, it seems. I'm too busy enjoying life. And so when there's something that's gnawing at me.
So do you find you end up writing in clusters? You write several songs and.
Yeah.
And for Big Shoes, are you writing much of the material yourself? Are you doing more covers?
We're doing, especially right now, we're doing mostly covers because I'm using a variety of players. So we're not doing a lot of original stuff because we're not rehearsing much.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, they'll sit down with the book and learn the material, and we'll do it. But when I'm in a recording vein, when Big Shoes was recording, I was doing a lot of writing.
The track that we had ready to line up is called
Hackle Barney.
Hackle Barney, which is a word for some reason I cannot force it into my memory where I can recall it without seeing it in print. Hackle Barney.
Yeah. When you hear the song enough, it won't help either because it's never mentioned. So.
The closest he comes is when he talks about a stony rabbit thicket in South Iowa.
Yes, that's right.
A stony rabbit thicket?
Thorny rabbit thicket.
A thorny rabbit thicket in South Iowa.
And it's a song by Greg Brown?
Written by Greg Brown, performed here by Dick Penny.
All right. Dick, take it away.
Woke up too early, Grandma calling me. Grandpa played the banjo way past midnight. only 10, singing, school's out, school's out, school's out, school's out then. Where the sun comes first and the rain comes at last. Hope for the future, tears for the past. Teacher lets the fools out to scatter like dandelions in June. And everyone and everybody tries to shoot the moon. Oh, city slicker dude, what you gonna do? The chickens will peck you, and the cows won't come home. But I'll be a hunter till death makes me cry, and it ruins my day in a thorny rabbit thicket in South Highway, where the sun comes first and the rain comes at last. Hope for the future, tears for the past. Teacher lets the fools out to scatter like dandelions in June. And everyone and everybody tries to shoot the moon. And I seen a big buck played that Sears guitar, and I kissed and felt my cousin, ruby lips and a ponytail. Got my heart broke, smoked a cigarette, hiding in the woods, singing, school's out, school's out, school's out, school's out for good. Where the sun comes first and the rain comes at last. Hope for the future, tears for the past. Teacher lets the fools out to scatter like dandelions in June. And everyone and everybody tries to shoot the moon. And everyone and everybody tries to shoot the moon.
If I should leave you, try to remember the good times, warm days filled with sunshine, and just a little bit of rain, and just a little bit of rain. And if you look back, try to forget the bad times, lonely, blue, and sad times. and just a little bit of rain, and just a little bit of rain. And if I look back, I will remember all the good times, warm days filled with sunshine, and just a little bit of rain, and just a little bit of rain.
Welcome back. And that was
Fred Neil.
Fred Neil, more famous for
Pretty famous for that. I don't know. What else was he
Everybody's
famous for?
talking.
Everybody's Talking,
Oh, yeah,
man.
that's right.
And that great song, The Dolphin. This old world may never turn.
You played that song last time you were on, didn't you, Paul? Is that possible? I think maybe. Speaking of weather, mostly cloudy. Another shower is in store for us today. A high of 56 degrees. What happened to summer? Where'd it go? Monday, 55, partly cloudy and cool. Tuesday, plenty of sun, a bit milder. I saw the sun poke out here a little bit ago, but then it went away. Not to be seen or heard from again. Wednesday, a few strong thunderstorms possible. So, okay, we'll have to make our own sunshine, apparently.
I don't know if listening to a lot of Fred Neil's going to help.
No, it's not. It kind of took the wind out of my sails, if you want to know. Maybe it's started me searching for a cup of coffee. Lonnie, what do you got up that you want to play for us next?
I want to do another one of my songs, just because Fred Neil did a little bit of rain, and then we talked about the weather.
And this song
So
is
it'll make sense.
and this song is entitled.
This song is entitled "This Old House Won't Stand Another Rain."
Great, take it away, Lonnie.
Okay, we got to get this microphone over here. This was inspired by a book called 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Have you ever read that?
I have read that book.
Yeah.
And President Clinton's favorite book is, in fact, 100 Years of Solitude.
Really? I know it was a Democratic book. Putting on the coffee, closing up the doors. I don't want this house to sing old lovers, older wars. Sweeping up the petals on the flowers that fell, still living on the floor. And there is no more, nothing but days on the pages, dust on the pages of the few who remain. This old house won't stand another rain. I tried to love you open through the changing of the seasons. Then I tried to love you clean when you and I could find no reason. Then we tried to love in lies with souls turned black like fighters' eyes and lips that cried all love is treason. Every loving touch is blackmail. Every day we forged the chains and every night we drove the nails. And this house absorbed the pain like a proud and ancient tree absorbed the thunder, absorbed the gale. There's no more laughing songs, and there's no more gypsy dreams. Gone with the last breath of summer, born on a wild bird's wing. Gone with the hard taste of winter, gone like 1,000 things. And there is no more, nothing but old men and women in time-yellowed photos and cracked picture frames. This old house won't stand another rain. This day goes by like other days with wings into the evening, and the stone cast in the river sends no ripples back to me. As I go walking in the dark to ask the dying moon to bring my memories of years strong and young and free, when tomorrow was a dream that only children's hearts could see. Today the walls will crumble in the rain that falls like fire and wash our future to the sea. Nothing but echoes of voices, shadows of footsteps, and this cloudy refrain. This old house won't stand another rain. This old house won't stand another rain.
That was beautiful, Lonnie.
Thank you.
Tell me about the songwriting process on that song.
On that one, I was moved by that book. It's the story
Yeah.
of the Bendia family.
Yeah.
And I wanted to write a song based on it, and very, very loosely based on it. And I came up with the line, "This old house won't stand another rain." In fact, they may say something very much like that in the book. And the rest of it certainly has nothing to do with an obscure Latin American village, but it has to do with time and change and age. And, you know, as the Bendia family sort of crumbled through the story of the book, life sort of crumbles as time goes by. I just started drawing out images, and it all seemed to make sense. And I was listening to Jacques Brel a lot at the time, just where the chord progression came from.
You know, I understand that's also George W. Bush's favorite book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Lies and the Lying Liars Who Tell Them. But
George doesn't read books.
It's just
He
such a
doesn't read
good-
newspapers. He doesn't read magazines. Oh, don't get me started.
okay.
No, that was really, really, really beautiful. And I feel very fortunate to have you, Lonnie, in the studio, and I thank you again for coming in. We have about 10 minutes left, so we're going to play you some more songs. I want to note for you, sometimes on the program I like to introduce new music that I don't even have yet because either it's not out yet or I haven't mustered up the funds. But here's one from Patty Griffin, a new album called Impossible Dream. And Patty, I'm not familiar with Patty, but I feel like I'm out on left field on this one because let me read to you from the article itself. Griffin has become one of the most talked about figures on the alt-country scene, revered for her songwriting for Emmylou Harris, Dave Matthews, and the Dixie Chicks. Impossible Dream has Griffin's trademark heartbreaking quality flowing throughout with Don't Come Easy, Cold as It Gets, and the lovely piano ballad Kite, among several highlights. The set is not as fully fueled and rocking as her vastly underrated 1998 disc, Flaming Red, but the arrangements are artfully crafted nonetheless. Are you familiar with that other one, that Flaming Red from 98?
I'm not familiar with that one. I'm familiar with an album of hers called, I think it's called 1,000 Smiles or 1,000 something. That's just got some beautiful songs. And then there's an older disc of hers that is a compilation of a lot of her writer demos. It's just her and guitar.
That sounds nice. I always like those. Sometimes artists, some of their best work comes out that way, I think, in terms of tracks. Well, speaking of tracks, we're going to cue something up for you here. Paul, you want to tell us what this is?
This is Gringo. That
Gringo.
we agreed upon?
Gringo, sure. This is by Little Feat from 1981, about 2 years after Lowell George died, and the band was in turmoil, and they put out a 2-album set called Hoi Hoi. And this has been called Billy Payne's greatest writing to date since we've been talking about songwriting. It also features Robin Ford on guitar and David Sanborn on sax.
Let's give it a listen.
That pulls us into the jazz thing.
Southern California bound. Gringo, take a stop and look around. Stars and stripes out in the cold. Gringo, here's a hand you can't take hold of. Even though we're bought and sold. Drink Coca-Cola, says the sign there. America has made its mark. They said blood is thicker than water. Something tells me we really ought to come out of the dark. Not long saxophone in the barrio. The chicas will warm you. They can be persuasive, gringo, with stars in their eyes. Spend a week in Acapulco. No Esperanto needed there. Lovers are like broken glass. They're everywhere. Chicas will warm you. They can be persuasive, gringo, with stars in their eyes. Gringo, think of this before you leave. Gringo, truth is easy to deceive. If you're ready to receive. Between the open road are your memories, tender hearted though they be. They say blood is thicker than water. They say all suffering comes to an end. Common saying for friend is amigo. Gringo. Red Cadillac at sunset slowing down for another look at that border town.
Brazil.
Brazil.
Brazil. Tell us more. Who is
Jeff
that?
and Maria Moldauer again.
Again.
With Amos Garrett on guitar and somebody really crazy on whatever that low instrument was.
Did either of you two go to the art crawl yesterday and down in Lower Town in St. Paul?
No, I did not. That was Friday, though, wasn't it?
It was Friday night and all day Saturday, and I
Oh.
picked up some photographs of
I'll hold this one up to the microphone.
Theodore, otherwise known as Ted Rosine.
Wonderful.
And Ted is, you can see him.
Can they see? They can.
You can use a little imagination. He did a lot of, I was inspired by the Brazil song, and so these are photographs of Guatemala when he was down there last summer. And he also works over at Dunn Brothers, so you can make his acquaintance over there when he's not working at Dunn Brothers. He lives and works out of a loft in Lower Town, and they're really fine stuff. I'm going to get me one of those big giant ones, blow up and put it in my house. I think that'd be really pretty.
Which one?
Oh,
I don't know which one. I bought those smaller photographs to see which ones would look nice in my own humble abode. But it was really fun to see him and to see his work over there.
I went to the opening of the Gallery Atitlan.
A gallery
Which is-
Atitlan.
Atitlan.
Atitlan?
Yeah, it's it opened at, in fact, it's going to be right next door to the coffee house.
Oh, cool.
Opening at 609 South 10th Street. But
What-
they're opened this evening, too, or this afternoon or this evening. Just barely open, but they brought in a Peruvian tapestry maker that has some absolutely amazing stuff. And all the tapestries tell a story. They're all set to the poems that he writes, things of that nature.
I
The
can't.
battle exhibit will be there for a while, so.
So what else is on the corner over there? Is there? I can't wait to go to this coffee house.
It's in the middle of the block on 10th Street between the Balmoral apartment building and the historic Hinkle Murphy Manor.
Yeah, I don't have a real good sense of that neighborhood myself. But when
You
is
know where the Bandbox Cafe is?
No, see, I
Bandbox
don't.
Diner, see? Well, it's on 10th Street, right between Pork and Partland.
Pork Apartment? Yeah.
It is early in the
No, I know. I can do that. I can do that.
And the East Downtown.
No, in fact, my friend Melody used to live in an apartment down there. Now, when I think about it, okay, I got you.
The Elliott Park Master Plan is to create a cultural commons in that block and in that area.
Uh-huh.
We're fortunate enough to be sitting smack dab in the middle of it, so we can serve coffee to artsy folk.
And when are you gonna start serving coffee?
In June.
We gotta wait till
I'm not
June.
going to get any more specific than that.
You realize half of Macalester will be leaving here on May 10th, so
And
you
hopefully
couldn't just
coming to
speed things
Minneapolis.
up a little bit.
I wish we could, but it'll be, we have to work on wall treatments first.
First things first. I am looking forward to that. Thank you very much, Lonnie Knight, for being my guest here today. Thank you very much, Paul Strickland, for being my guest. Lonnie, when could we hear you next if we were so inclined?
The 8th and the 22nd of May at Molly Quinn's.
Gotcha.
3300 East Lake. And you can also, if you want to hear the band,
That's not far from here either. Easy bus ride, yeah.
now that we have buses again.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always go to the website and check the schedule there because I'm not sure where else I am at the moment. But that's
Yeah, and the website is
LonnieKnight.com.
LonnieKnight.com, and that's Knight with a K.
Knight with a K and Lonnie with an I-E.
Gotcha.
Com with a C.
Thanks again. Next week will be our last show, and we'll look forward to saying goodbye at that time. Meanwhile, we're going to say goodbye today with Bob Dylan's One More Weekend. Thanks, and have a great week.
Slipping and sliding like a weasel on the run. I'm looking good to see you, yeah, and we can have some fun. One more weekend with you. One more weekend will do. Come on down to my ship, honey, right on deck. We're flying over the ocean, just like it's a speck. One more weekend with you. One more weekend will do. We'll fly the night away, hang out the whole next day. Things will be okay, you wait and see. We'll go someplace unknown, leave all the children home. Honey, why not go alone, just you and me? Coming and going like a rabbit in the woods. I'm happy just to see you, yeah, looking so good. One more weekend with you. One more weekend will do. Yes, it will. Like a needle in a haystack, I'm gonna find you yet. You're the sweetest gone mama that this boy's ever gonna get. One more weekend with you. One more weekend will do.
We're looking for Dave and Kai to come along, and we'll pass on the show to them when they get here. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with something from the Pixies.